architecture is background, life is foreground. And I think that's a great mantra for designing a home.
When you approach the house, you come to it through a very small track. And then the track turns and you come through the gate. And suddenly the whole place is revealed. And in front of you is this magnificent house. It's a sense of returning, and now returning home. That's what I feel.
This is the Cowshed. It's a house in rural Devon, and it's been converted from a cowshed that's now 40 years old into a home for Suzanne, who's an artist, and Peter, who's a management consultant. And it's both a studio, home office, and home.
This house has changed my life in many ways, but one of the biggest ways is having a studio, this studio, where I can be in here night or day and be warm and dry. The good thing about this house as well is we can be quite separate. You have your space, I have my space. 11 o'clock is coffee. Yes. And we sit outside on the veranda and have our coffee, discuss various things, what we've been doing, and then we go separate again. And this house allows the separation and it allows the meeting.
The client initially had a brief to convert their entire farm, which they've been living in for the last 50 years, from a working dairy farm into a residential community. We worked on 5 planning permissions over the years to convert each of the farm buildings into homes, and the cowshed was the last to be converted.
We said a number of things to David. Number 1, we want to live in the light. Number 2, we want to feel connected to our immediate environment. We've spent many years farming here. We want to be aware of the land and to feel easily connected to it. Number 3, it's about materials. We wanted this to be a very simple place with the materials reflecting those that we'd used in the cowshed.
A lot of the original texture of the building has been incorporated into the home as it is today. The structure is particularly gnarly. There are these concrete posts that hold up a timber structure. You know, it's great at doing its job structurally, but also lends a lovely kind of history and patina to the building. There was no architectural shame about reusing such a humble building. Peter and Suzanne had been very fastidious in finding a local supplier that could provide blocks that were similar in colour to the original blocks. And there's an interesting detail in that this project was built over COVID, and at a certain point all the materials started to become unavailable. We turned them all on their side to create this soldier course that now wraps all the way through the building as some memory of that moment.
I think for me, the things that have made the difference in working with an architect is realizing that it's very much a two-way relationship.
It's a lot about listening to each other, and I think there's been a lot of bravery on their part.
You're not looking for somebody just to design something and then walk away. You're looking for somebody who really is willing to listen, understand what you want, get to know you. And over the years we've been working together, I think that's worked really well.
We've worked with a lot of artists over the years, but it's probably the most involved we've been in terms of a client artist working on the project. In many of the rooms, there's installations by Suzanne that are roof lights that have coloured linings.
We've incorporated our farm life into it. The doors that were back here, that's part of the house now. My sink is still the dairy sink that's in my studio. The lights in the kitchen are the lights that we used to warm the calves in the wintertime. Our water troughs are outside, we're being used as planters.
I particularly love our main living room. There's something in it that just makes it a beautiful space to be in, with that wonderful curved window at the end.
Buildings can make living a pleasure. There's the possibility of living the life that you imagine for yourself, and that architecture helps you achieve that.
Somehow this building had something magical that was retained once it was changed into a house.
The architecture's there to enable life to happen, and it's the conversations, the work, the relaxation, sense of retreat. Those are the things that are the subject of the project, if you like. And it's always wonderful to see them enjoying themselves and feeling like they're able to get on with the lives that they imagined all those years ago.